Stories of fatherhood. She was not someone you may describe as beautiful, though pretty may do, but there was always a halo of winsomeness around her, a charm charged by the forces of attraction. Her eyes had the dullness of a lamb, her lips had the form of a pout each time she smiled, and each time she did, only her first two frontal teeth pecked through her thin lips, as if shy of revealing its milky glitter and uneven edges. Laughter did not come natural to her. On the rare occasions it visited, it carried the sound of wildfires eating up dry grasses in the winter. Ashley, for that was her name, was my wife. She was the only daughter of one of the finest attorneys we had in New York. Whether it was the perks and privileges and prestige of being the in-law of one of the city's most important citizens, or it was the charm of the most lovable personality that made her the dream of every man, I can't say exactly, but she had the eyes of so many men on her. The fact that she agreed to marry me has been, and still remains, a baffling wonder. I always believed that the god of chance was having a good day when I sought her friendship. Later, I will realize that with all those suitors, she never had a past with others, nor a future without me. We are married. It's 2 years now, and we decided not to have children yet. It never mattered much as long as we had ourselves. But my mother saw a problem that we never had. You see, my mother is a member of the Southern Baptist Convention. They are completely against any form of birth control. This goes in line with their positional statement that at the moment of conception, a new being, created in the image of God, has entered the world. They, together with my mother, seem not to understand why someone would choose to have a child, or worse still, not to have a child. Are you good? That was my mother's first question when she jolted back to consciousness after we told her that we were not ready for children. But my mother wasn't the only one with these questions. Our friends and neighbors had similar concerns. Sometimes I imagine that those were not genuine concerns. The decision to hold on with childbearing was entirely my initiative. I wanted us to enjoy our marriage without the pressure of raising children. So after our third anniversary, we, or rather I, finally decided to start having children. Do not blame me. I had my reasons. Ashley was everything I ever asked for in a woman. Our love wasn't merely the flutter of the heart. The bond that held us was stronger than death. I didn't want anything to ruin what we shared, not even children. I knew I couldn't bear to see myself sharing Ashley with another person. I just wanted her, all of her. I wanted her time and complete attention. You may think I'm deluded. I'm not. With my wife, I was the baby, so we didn't need any baby. We shared the phone of privacy. I can't trade that feeling for anything or anyone. From the first day I met her, Ashley introduced me to stomach butterflies, and they never stopped flapping their wings. But it finally came when we never expected it. Her pregnancy. I was going to be a father after all. Her pregnancy became a dreadful thing for me. When she began her morning sicknesses, it was almost becoming unbearable. Falling ill and becoming bedridden almost became a regular thing. And I now had enough reason to tell Ashley, I told you so. On the other hand, she felt different. Anxiously expectant of the joyous motherhood, she would go online to look for the latest baby craze and the ideal formulas for a newborn baby. Her phone was filled with screenshots of a newborn's clothing and all the essentials for its wardrobe. She became more intentional about nutritious foods that are calorie-free. But there are times when her cravings will push her to take what she isn't expected to. It was a struggle to avoid caffeine altogether. She loved the smell of coffee, for instance, and never liked decaffeinated beverages. But she had to stay away from them for the baby's sake. At last, the baby arrived. When her water broke that afternoon, at about 2:35 p.m., she called me. "I think the baby is coming." I had to leave the office and rush home immediately. I managed to get into the car. As I drove, I noticed that she looked relaxed. In fact, she walked into the hospital herself from the entrance. After she was checked into the labor room, the nurse left her and asked her to call for her if she felt any pain. And there was Ash, just texting on her phone and talking to her sister, who resides at Los Angeles. As if she was poked by a sharp needle, she just whined and dropped her phone on the bed. Then her hands went underneath her thighs and she exclaimed, "Oh my God, I think I touched the baby's head." Was that supposed to be a joke? I wondered. Immediately, I called the nurse and all of a sudden, his black hair covered head popped out. Then his tiny body followed. I caught him myself. A boy. My son. Our first child. He was in my arms before the nurses came to attend to Ashley. I was surprised that I felt this way about him. The tears just rolled down. When I looked into his eye, I felt I have known him my entire life. I was overwhelmed with joyful sorrow. I just stared into his lovely eyes that were partly shut. I just loved him. So this is what it means to be a father? To hold a piece of you in your arms? When my mother arrived an hour later and saw the way I was all over the baby, she reminded me of what she said each time I talked about not being ready for a child. "Mike, now you understand that children are a gift from God and sons are a heritage from the Lord." "I do, Ma. Yes, I do," I replied. The tears kept falling.